thugs, roll out that TV on the cart and pop in the videotape because we are not working hard today. We've had a crazy last month picking fights with nerds, shoving nerds into lockers, baiting nerds with some clickbait headlines. So let's do a nice chill one, just for the fans. Guys, this is Super Despair World. This is the only show that will ever love you unconditionally for who you are, or for the low price of $6 a month otherwise. Dave, let's plug our shit.
Yeah. First of all, I love the lazy teacher.
That's my favorite thing.
Who hasn't
Only 90
done
kids
that?
will get this.
Exactly. I'm sure it's in a different format now. Not that I've ever done that as an educator of young minds. I only do 100% high effort shit. But anyways, yeah, Super Despair World, you're here. And we're also here, so let's fucking do this shit. If you're new to this podcast, or if you're an OG, you're in for a fucking ride, baby. And we have things like we have a Patreon, apparently. I just learned about this recently. It's an online platform where you can come and give us a sinister $6. Just to show your goddamn support. And you know what? We appreciate everyone who's done that. We're going to shout them out at the end of the episode. And also, if you don't want to do that, we also have a Discord where you can come and just hang out with the coolest people on the fucking planet, guaranteed or your money back. So, yeah, consider doing that, and or don't, and live a life of quiet despair.
Yeah, hell yeah. In fact, speaking of the Discord, this episode is all about the Discord, because today we're taking it easy. We're doing a little question and answer segment from viewers in the Discord. Obviously, it's too late to put questions in now because we're recording. But if you want, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this at least once every couple weeks. So if you want to get in on the next batch of questions, the next time we open that up, pop in there. Make yourself known. Say hello to us.
Oh yeah, and also if you don't want to join the Discord because you're not allowed, because your mom and dad took your internet privileges away for all of the really weird Rule 34 shit that you've been downloading on the family computer, we also have email addresses. That's some old school shit, and you can hit either of us up at Dave at superdespairworld.com or Briar at superdespairworld.com. We do have access to these email addresses, and we can answer any of your questions, concerns, or if you just want to write to a stranger. We could be pen pals. If you're an inmate, that would be really cool.
If you want to say that you will never be a woman and show me your hog or something, go ahead, do it. I don't care. Maybe I'll put it up on the episode. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure. I
feel like we've got at least a few of those viewers after the last several episodes. So, we gotta account for that part of our audience.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the DMs are open on that one. So I don't think we have images blocked there. I check my spam folder regularly, so
you have to be born after 19 or before 1995 to know how to attach image to email or whatever.
Yeah, you could find a YouTube tutorial. I'm sure there's something on TikTok about.
I'm sure there's a 2-minute YouTube video of some Indian guy typing into Notepad. Okay, first you do this, and then it's it'll give you the answer you need.
I like the ones where they're not even talking, and it's just like an EDM track. And they're typing in a Notepad.
Recorded on HyperCam 2.
Yeah. Oh, those are so good.
Yeah, as much as I resent everything being a video nowadays, I kind of much prefer those over like some 10-minute long video explanation like, hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Tech Tips, whatever. Subscribe to my thing. Shout out to the tech heads out there. And then it's like, you're even trying to do, I don't know. I just hate all these videos. Like, give me the fucking answer to my question.
No, for sure. Most of these like could be a blog post, which we need to bring that fucking shit back immediately. But those ones are the ones that like solve your answer or that solve your question immediately. Whereas the ones that are like, yo, what's up guys? In my last video, I taught you how to click a mouse. And this time we're teaching you how to use OBS to stream videos to the internet. Those ones like they don't answer the question that is supposedly in the video title, and to those people, fuck off. Do better.
Yeah, I'm going to agree about the blog post thing, but that does give me a little flashback to a previous episode a few months ago where I was like, "Hey guys, I have a blog. Check out my blog." And like I plugged it in the description or something, and I wrote like one article, and then I just like have not updated in the last like 3 months or something, so I need to get back onto blogging myself.
I mean, it was a banger article though, so yeah.
It was pretty good. I'm sure like I have a lot of things I'll follow up on, but maybe we'll see. Like I don't know, we've all got our stuff going on. I thought let's just move things along. I thought just a quick little recap before we dive into the questions. We've had like a crazy last month on this show. Just the last 2 episodes before this are our second and third most viewed episodes on the channel, like period, which is like, hey, that's cool. And I feel like part of that at least must be like rage baiting some nerds. But you know what? Hey, if it works, it works.
That's YouTube, baby.
Yeah, shout out again to the guest on our last episode, Shay. I think we got a lot of eyes on that one. I got reblogged by some like big Warhammer accounts on Twitter, and I think we're getting a lot of people like trickling in from that, as well as a couple haters. But it's always fun to we do a little scuffling in the comments. We're not above that. We're not professionals out here, so
yeah. We're just talking. We're just saying things. If that makes you mad, maybe take an inward look at yourself and say, why are you so mad about this? Why are you so mad?
Yeah, for real. I know like around the time we started the show, we had a real sit down conversation where we were like, okay, well, we could probably do some pretty good numbers if we just do like really sloppy content, or if everything is like constantly like clickbaity or like super topical things going on right now. And like, there's a lot of stuff we want to do on the show that's like not something people are talking about in the trending tab immediately whatsoever, and just some stuff that we want to talk about just because it's interesting, but like sometimes I think it's good to like dive into something a little more topical. I don't know. We're still experimenting with the format, but we'll see what the next few episodes hold. I don't think we want to do like constant topical high engagement bullshit 24/7, but yeah, we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes things that are current day topics like they do need to be addressed, and we try to make it part of some sort of broader narrative of like the way things are and stuff like that. But yeah, if you ever see an episode or a YouTube video from us that's like addressing the drama ... and then like one of us soy facing in the thumbnail, yeah, please feel free to bully us for that, because that means we have fallen from grace, truly.
Yeah, if we ever fall out of line, I want you guys to like dox and kill me, like for real. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But like, be mean in the comments. I don't know. I feel like we cultivate a pretty decent audience. I think we cultivate people who like, they don't want the slop. They want the authentic bullshit, and they like our brand of humor. So I don't know.
I
think we've got it figured out, at least for now.
And that's why our little but quaint and amazing Discord is so full of like the best people on the internet. I stand by that. God damn it. I will not back down from that point.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right. Speaking of the best people on the internet, let's answer some questions. I don't know how long this will go, this episode. Maybe it'll be our usual length. Maybe it'll be shorter, but we'll just get straight into it. Let's start off with, I'm just gonna go at the top of the list and scroll down. So how about this first one? I'll pitch this to you first, Dave. Okay, Clam asks, what is your favorite pet, and what silly little things did or do they do?
All right, so I've had, and I do have, a lot of really good pets throughout my existence, but
it's hard to choose. Yeah. They're all good boys. They're
all good boys and girls.
Heckin' good puppers.
Heckin' pupperinos and cute kitties and all that type of shit. The most how do I say? The most memorable pet that I had was our first pet ever. When I was I was probably like fucking 10 or something when we got this cat. It was a rescue, in the sense of like my aunt and uncle did this like big brother little sister type of thing.
Oh, like a mentorship.
Yeah, something like that. And the girl they did this with lived in some like apartment complex, and they found this cat. And it was a really pretty cat. We named him Hobbs, and he was like a long hair white Angora cat. I'm pretty sure. I'm not a.
That's so cute. I don't think I've ever really. Well, I've technically had one cat. I'm not really a big cat person, but if I were to get a cat, I would love to have one of those like really like poofy, like long-haired ones. I think they're cute as hell.
They're dope. I mean, like you need a really good vacuum, I guess, is one of the things. But so this cat being like a hardcore feral, like city gangster cat, he was really sweet, but
woke liberal Democrat cat. Inner city youth.
exactly trading his food stamps for heroin, as they all do. But no, this cat was cool, but like being a feral cat, like he had a taste for the streets, let's just say. So number one, we ended up getting him declawed, which, okay, disclaimer, I know it's bad. This was the fucking 90s. Nobody knew any better.
It's better to like clip their claws rather than like fully remove them.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. But like this dude was destroying shit. Like he was destroying shit with his claws. But yes, do not get your pets declawed. Do not get your cats declawed. I don't know if they declaw.
One of my favorite things is like seeing like shit posts on the internet. There's like, hey guys, don't slap your cat on its butt, and then they show a picture of like their arm just like completely like sliced to ribbons.
I do that all the time. I will always slap cats on the butt. It's too fun, and I know what I'm in for. I'm signing up for this shit. But the other thing is he loved. He yearned for the outdoors. He yearned for freedom. And so like it got to a point where like if somebody came to visit the house or something like that, you would like crack the door like 1 millimeter and just be like, oh, hey, like, and people would be like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? It's like, nah, dude, the cat's gonna fucking escape. Like, and this dude would be lurking, like just lurking in the corner the entire time. And if you opened that door more than an inch, he would just like sprint out the door. So there were so many times, like every time we went on like family camping trips where everybody's like in and out of the house, like loading up the camper or whatever. Every single time it would just be like, all right, we got this loaded. Okay, now we go find Hobbs. And we're just roaming the neighborhood, like looking for this little fucking bastard. But yeah, great fucking cat. I will always be. Oh, and also like he did like to go outside, so my dad made a run for him with a leash and a harness. And this dude was so rowdy, and he was so mischievous that there were multiple times where I would see him like, you go check on Hobbs, and he's like wrapped around like my dad's truck's antenna, just like dangling. by his harness. It's like, okay.
Cats are so funny because, like, sometimes, like, you'll be watching, like, a nature documentary or some shit about, like, lions and tigers and, like, big cats like that, and they still act, like, weirdly domestic in some ways. Like, you put a big cardboard box in the lion's den, and they will try to, like, sit their whole, like, 500-pound ass in that thing. And, like, at the same time, you look at, like, domestic cats, and, like, they still got a little bit of that, like, that wild side in them. So I don't know. All cats are, like, they just come in different sizes, but they aren't that different. So
yeah, exactly. Like they're fun animals. Anyways,
Yeah.
what about you? What about
yeah.
you?
So a little segue there. So I said I technically have never had a cat, which is to say I don't really have clear memories of ever having a cat. But my mom often tells me that when I was like toddler age or something, we apparently did have like a cat in the family, and I don't know the specific breed. It was like some long-haired, like poofy cat. My mom really likes those too, and I only know about this cat because my mom tells me stories about like, oh yeah, when you were a toddler, you were constantly trying to like pick up that cat and like toss it down the stairs or something. I was like, oh, I must have been like a fucking little devil child if that was the case.
Wasn't that what was that Animaniacs or like Tiny Toons or something where there was like the girl that was always trying to like grab the cat and like pet it too hard, and it was like suffering the entire
That sounds
time.
vaguely familiar, but my only memory of Animaniacs is them going the fucking hello nurse bit, you know, with the big titty like nurse lady.
Yeah, My Awakening.
Yeah. So besides that, I don't know. It's hard to pick just a single one, but I have some fond memories of different pets. We've owned like at least 4 different Shih Tzus and over the course of my life. We have 2 right now, but the 2 previous ones we had. The first one was this female Shih Tzu. Her name was Cookie, and she was really kind of a funny dog. I don't know if this is like fucked up or something, but like from a young age, like we had her as soon as she was a puppy, and my mom would like to not like I don't know how to phrase this without sounding a little fucked up, but my mom would like to like tease and egg her on a bit. Like every time we would like give her some food or something, my mom would like hold out her hand and make like a grabby motion, like pretending she was gonna get it, and this little like mean little Shih Tzu would like growl very violently at her. But like other than having like a mean temper, like she was a very like nice, very chill dog. She liked to like sleep in this little like we set up like a little like kind of a bed for her like underneath like an old like fucking 1990s like computer desk or something in the kitchen, and she had her own little hidey hole in there, and she was very cool. She also had a habit of like, if you left like socks on the floor, she fucking loved socks. She would always seek them out and like just take them in her mouth and just like run around all over the house like stealing people's socks, and it was just very funny.
Well, did she eat socks? Because I've seen dogs that eat socks, and that's a fucking problem.
Well, I don't know, because like usually we managed to recover those pretty quickly, or sometimes she would just like pick them up and like hide them in other places. Like she wasn't really that like destructive with like furniture or anything. I think she just liked, I don't know, maybe she just liked the smell or something. Dogs have like a strong sense of smell, so maybe it's like, ooh, this is a weird smelling thing. I wanna play with it for a little while or something. I don't know. Besides Cookie, around the same time we had her, we also had another Shih Tzu. His name was Gizmo, and we also had him since he was a puppy, and like he grew to be like very large over the course of his life. But no matter his size, like from the moment we got him, and he was like a little puppy, and it was like he was like less than like 5 months old or something when we had him, and we had him in this little like crate to sleep in just in our living room or something, and he was like a little fucking escape artist. He was really good at like undoing the latch on cages or like little like doggy pen doors or whatever. Like no matter what, this dog wanted to be free, and he wanted to run around it, and just like he was, I don't know, my dad when he was still alive, he called him like a little Houdini or something, just the way he always managed to like get out of places, and it was really funny.
I mean, respect. Like that's
he was
yeah.
a clever dog for real.
It is amazing to see like animals just be like, oh yeah, if I just push this latch, I can get out, because I've seen somebody do that before. Like, they're not as dumb as we think. They're dumb in a lot of ways, but so are we. So
Yeah, some animals are deceptively smart. I've never really had birds. I think we had like a parakeet once for like a year or something. But I've seen videos of like crows that'll like solve fucking puzzles. Like you put a little like safe on the floor with those little like the keypad with like a security code or something, and the bird will like pick up on the different noises of each button and like crack the code, and it's like,
they're
holy
crazy. Crows are so crazy. There are crows. There's another like study of them where they will pick up nuts. Like nuts with a hard outer shell, like walnuts or whatever, and they'll drop them in the road and wait for cars to drive by and crush them, and then go like eat the stuff that comes out of the crushed nut. And it's like, holy shit, man.
That's extra funny. I remember I saw a study once about like even though they're technically the same species, there's like a huge like behavioral difference between like wild forest raccoons and like city raccoons, and this was apparently like a real big problem in like New York City for a while, and probably still to this day, where like there's like a big raccoon problem and people leave out all these like traps and like deterrences to deal with the raccoons, but this is just like training them to be smarter. So now you've got it so that city raccoons are like significantly smarter than their forest dwelling country yokel counterparts.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait for in like 8,000 years when crows and raccoons just completely take over, and dolphins. So they'll just be running the world.
We need to do an episode. We need to do an episode on that guy. You know that guy who was like funded by the CIA or something, and he fucked all those dolphins because he wanted to like try to do some, like they were funding some program to like communicate with the dolphins or whatever. Do I sound crazy right now?
No, are you talking about the chick who jerked off the dolphin?
I think it was like a couple. I think it was two of them. They had like a dolphin house that was like partly flooded or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, there was the one that like. I don't know if this is I'm sure there's a lot of dolphin weirdos out there. There's the one who like gave dolphins LSD, and then there's a really famous one of the chick who like jerked off dolphins because like she was like, oh, they're like stressed out, and they're like, and the dolphin is like getting like very like sexually aggressive, so I think I just need to jerk it off. And they like whatever director of this like publicly funded study was just like, yeah, we have to shut this down immediately.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that. I don't know. I'm trying to not to talk about it too much because it's like, okay, I get a little self-conscious where it's like I vaguely know something and I like kind of mention it on the show and then I'm like way off or something. So, but we'll definitely like, I know there was something there. We'll look into that for a future episode. That's a more research heavy one.
Yeah. Important stuff. We need to really deep dive into that.
All right. All right. That's enough. Let's move on to the next question. We got one from my buddy, Gloob. He asks, what is the hardest part about making the podcast, and what is your favorite part about making it? That's a good one.
All right. Do you have an answer for that off the cuff?
If I'm completely honest with myself, doing the art every week is definitely the hardest part of the show. I've had many times where I thought like, like I don't need to do a unique illustration for every single episode. This is like no other podcast that I'm aware of does something like this. Maybe they'll do like a quick little thumbnail doodle or something, but like I don't know, it's not something we need to do, but at the same time I feel like it is something that kind of sets the show apart a little bit. It sounds a little bit weird to talk about a podcast as having like an aesthetic when it's very much like an audio based sort of deal, but I do think we do have like a unique weird little aesthetic for the show, and I do like doing the art, but like without a doubt, just like in terms of like hours spent doing it, it is the most intensive part of the show for me. But I guess it's also my favorite. I don't know. I also just like just popping into VC and talking. I feel like, I don't know, it's very easy for me to get in my head like before we start recording, like I don't know if we're prepared for this episode. I gotta do some work or something. But then once we hit the record button, it all comes out pretty naturally. So I don't know. It's both, Yeah, I guess the hardest part is the art, and the my favorite part is both the art and just recording sessions actually. So
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
we just riffed about animals for no reason for like 15 minutes. So
I mean,
yeah.
we try to like a lot of podcasts just like quickly devolve into like two friends just shooting the shit about random whatever, and like, you know, there's a place for that, but also I fall off of a lot of those shows. We try to keep it like focused and have an actual topic most of the time, but it is nice to do like an episode like this every now and then, and just like, I don't know, we're just hanging out, we're just vibing today, so.
Yeah, and that's not my answer, but it is a thing where it's like, we don't want to be some like Gimlet Media fucking bullshit podcast.
I hate like, overproduced podcasts where it's like everybody puts on their fucking like PR voice, and it's like 5 different ads for HelloFresh and some shit ass mattress
and it's
company.
Like, guys, this isn't NPR, so like you're really tainting this medium with this like incredibly cultivated bullshit. So like, that's not good. I also don't like podcasts which are just like people just like mumbling to each other for an hour and a half while they like smoke weed or whatever.
We talked about this a little bit in like a talk on the Discord recently, and I think I mentioned something like, I like to drop the word faggot just occasionally every couple episodes to do the equivalent of like firing shots to keep the rent low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we gotta keep things, I don't know, a little vulgar, a little surly. I don't know. I feel like it makes us a little more. Is it pretentious to say working class? I don't know. We're not fucking like professional podcasters. We're just doing our own weird little thing.
Right. And I guess that ties into my answer to this is like, I want to make this like not scuffed as much as possible. So like, there's actually like a decent amount of shit that, and I'm not saying like this is like some incredibly like highfalutin production, but like the editing of the audio and then the syncing to the video, and then occasionally we put things on the YouTube video and then we upload them to the podcast apps and stuff like that. And Breyer has a lot to do with this, with the art and everything like that.
Yeah, sometimes the art will explicitly have like a transparent window or something to put shit up if we're doing like a visual heavy episode, which we try not to do like too often, because like I think, I don't know, I hate that most podcasts nowadays are like, we have to have a video, we have to have a like a big fancy couch, we have to do the camera shots of people sitting in front of their stupid microphones. And it's like, no, I feel like people need to respect that podcasts are like an audio art form, but at the same time, I'm not opposed to having some visuals. Like I said, like, I mean, I put a lot of thought into the video illustrations or whatever, so
yeah, for sure. But it's not to anybody who wants to make a podcast, like, you could make a bullshit podcast, but like, if you want to do it somewhat right, which I deign to say we are doing this, especially in our early days here, there's a bit that goes into it, and there's a fair amount of technical knowledge that goes into it as well, which luckily I just kind of had already, but yeah, like, it's a bit of a slog sometimes to, you know, kind of keep everything organized and keep everything on schedule.
Yeah, I know this is no, this hasn't come up before. I don't know. I need to stop prefacing things with like, oh, I already mentioned this. This is a big like verbal tick of mine, but
nobody listens to these episodes anyways. So.
Yeah, for real. I was gonna say, around the time that Dave and I met, I know there's a later question about how did you guys meet, but like around the time we started this podcast, it really just worked out conveniently that we each had like the skills to make it work. Like, I could not put on the show without Dave, because I don't know how the fuck to like mix audio or like do all the technical shit. That would be just too much work for me every week. And at the same time, like I do all the art and stuff, and I do a lot of the like organizational, like I do all the show notes before we record every week. So like, I don't know, we just have all the right skills that come together to make it work.
It is truly, and that's the other thing too, which I didn't mention, is Breyer usually kind of spearheads the whole organization of the episodes and comes up with a lot of the topics too, which It's very nice. It's just like, yeah, fuck yeah, I can riff on that. But yeah, I mean, I guess this goes
you
for
pitch
either
like
of us.
episode topics occasionally as well. So
Sure,
it's not all me.
Yeah, but I mean, it like. I guess the whole perspective is if it was just me or if it was just you, it would just be like too much. It's just like, I have to do all of this.
Yeah, I have so much respect for people who manage to do like a solo podcast and like they do literally all the work themselves. I mean, I guess a lot of them, they don't have to do like the same standard as us with like a unique illustration every week or whatever, but still.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was going to say is I don't know of any other podcast that is on the apps at least that has a unique illustration for every episode art thing. I think they'll do it by maybe by season, but I've never seen one. And please drop a motherfucking comment or email us on our email accounts or come to the fucking Discord and tell me if somebody else does this. I'd love to check their shit out. Cause
tell Dave, don't tell me. I hate all other podcasts. I only like this one.
Oh, true. Yeah. If you listen to any other podcast, you're cheating on us.
Yeah, for real.
Monogamy only.
I guess the last thing I'll say on this is like, if you are considering starting a podcast of your own, if you are not already known on the internet for something and it's just going to be you shooting the shit with your friend, I don't know, you can do it for fun, but like, don't. I feel like if you're starting out and people don't already know you for something, you really need to like actually have a focus and like an idea in mind for your show.
Yeah, I mean, there is like a kind of a meme about like, you know, white guy bros who just sit around. They're like, yo, this should be a podcast, bro. Like,
my favorite was like, somebody said the plural of white guys is a podcast, like a podcast of white guys.
Yeah, for sure. You need to have some sort of following, I guess, which we will maybe have.
We sure don't.
Yeah.
But maybe one day, we'll see. Maybe if we just keep pissing off the right nerds. All right, let's do the next question then. This is from one of our favorite listeners. This is from Shalom Guy. He says, very formally here, to Mr. Dave and Miss Breyer, thank you for the miss. I'm not married. How did y'all come up with your online names, Farstrider.fm and Sin Absentia? How about you start off with this one?
So I don't know for certain. The only thing I remember is I've had this name Farstrider for a while. And all I remember is this was from quite a while ago.
You could say it goes a long way back.
Hey.
Hey.
This is when my sister and I were still living with our parents. So I must have been like in college as an undergrad. And I remember she left a book sitting around or something, and I was going to play a game and I needed a name for a character. So I grabbed this book and I flipped to a random page and it said something Farstrider, and I was like, that sounds cool. And then I did that, and I just kind of just went with that. From what I understand, I think it's from the Wheel of Time series.
Oh, hell yeah. I've heard good things about that. I don't read a lot of fantasy books.
I've heard good things as well. I should probably read it since I stole my name from that. The FM thing came from just like Farstrider's taken on Twitch or wherever I started like doing content. So I just like, I do music stuff, so I could do FM after it. Like it's like a radio show.
Somewhere out there's going to be your like evil counterpart, which is like Farstrider.eth, like all the fucking crypto guys on
God.
Okay, I guess my turn then. So as for me, it's hard to say. I think I've used the online handle Sin Absentia for like about a year or two now. Like I want to say like maybe 6 months before this show started. And there isn't really like a whole lot to it. I just thought it sounded kind of cool. It sounded a little dark and edgy. There was a time when I was considering doing like not safe for work art on Twitter, and you know that's still on the table. I might make a move towards that, but at the moment I don't really post my art anywhere on the internet online. Just because like Twitter sucks, and it's like, I don't know, the only art that I really share on the internet publicly is the illustrations we do for this show. But as for that, I came up with it because it sounded cool. There's the fucking Latin phrase in absentia, and I was like, okay, that sounds cool, but that's probably taken everywhere. So I just added an S to the front for like
it's
naming
clever.
purposes.
It's clever.
Yeah, I think it's cool. And there was also like maybe 3 days after I took on this name where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna drop the sin at the start. I'm just gonna go by Absentia on my like fucking Discord and like online handles just to keep it a little short, a little simple. But you know, sometimes you just gotta have like a username that probably won't be taken on every platform once you sign up for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Is it's got to be somewhat unique. Which whenever I thought about like changing whatever handle I had, it's like, well, could this be? How unique is this? Like, if you're like Gamer Guy 420, you might want to think about rebranding a little bit.
Yeah, right after you take a shower. I was also gonna say before this particular username, I won't say what my old one was, but it had my actual name. It had Briar within it, and there just came a point where I was like, you know, I'm kind of tired of like every random person I interact with on the internet like addressing me back like partly with my actual name. Like, we're not on those terms. You don't know me that well. Like, I don't really give a shit about people knowing my name, right? It's like out there, it's on the show, like everybody knows it. You refer to me as Briar on the show.
Right.
I'm fine with people knowing that, but it's also like, I don't know, it's just like people just like kind of presume a level of familiarity, and also I don't feel like I'm just like big and popular enough that I can just be like the Briar that everybody knows. I know there's like a couple others, but like, I don't know. For me, it was just like, okay, I need an actual username. I need to be a little less upfront. I need to be just slightly more anonymous on the internet with like random people on Discords I join and whatever. So
yeah, it's a tough thing to juggle. Is like how out there do you want to be? How much of you as a person do you want to put right out there with this online persona that you have? But yeah, I mean,
it's something I really hate about the present day internet, where like every big platform wants to push you to just use your real name on the internet and make that like a brand. And like, fuck that. I'm not gonna do that. Like, my name is my name. It's not a fucking brand. I don't want to be like, yeah. I don't know. Like, you look at like big YouTubers nowadays, like for many years, like Anthony Fantano or something, everybody just knows him as Anthony Fantano now, but nobody calls him like the Needle Drop anymore, even though that's like his channel name or whatever. It's like, I don't know. I just have a lot of feelings about that, and I think we've talked about that on past episodes. So like maybe let's like move on. I don't know. I think that's a good answer.
Yeah, for sure.
This next question, I think this is one of the only ones specifically for me. Snacky asks, Absentia, why you blue? And on the Discord, 3 people reacted to this with a blue square emoji. So, okay, let me give like a really thought out answer to this. Because I'm horny for it. I don't know what you people want from me. I think this came up a little bit when we did the episode on furries with friend of the show, Trash Binz. I was saying, I relate a lot to furries. I feel like I have a certain affinity for like fantasy characters and shit like that. I like, you know, like fucking elves and orcs and like space aliens and bullshit like that.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Before I was ever like a public figure on the internet, and I still really hesitate to call myself even that even now. But the little blue skinned character girl that I draw as my like avatar in art and stuff, it was just a random character that I played in some like tabletop RPG in the past, and it just kind of stuck with me because like 2 or 3 people on random Discord servers were like, "Oh, your avatar is so cute. What's the deal with that?" So it just kind of became my brand over time. But I don't know. That's just the whole deal. There isn't really a whole lot to it.
Oh, it's not because you are really into the Blue Man Group?
They're all right. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big listener. I mean, I'm sure I've heard a few of their songs. They're like, that's neat. But no. I'm into the Blue Woman Group. I like them more since they went woke.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to take up too much time with the question just for me. So let's move on next. We're already doing pretty well for time. This is easily going to be a regular sized episode.
Oh, this is going sicko mode.
Yeah, we're going good. Okay. I know this next question is definitely going to be at least I have a lot to say about this. This is from my good buddy of many years, Reed. He asks, question for both Dave and Briar. Is there a topic you two wanted to cover for its discussion value but decided against it because it would fuck with the algorithm or is otherwise too dark to discuss publicly? I have an answer for this ready to go. Is there something... I'm sure we've had a lot of conversations.
I'm sure we have too, but
out?
Nothing comes to mind, so go ahead.
All right, so for me, the big one that immediately comes to my mind is this was like a few months ago when we were recording the end of the year 2023 wrap-up video, and we were going through a list of like stuff to cover in that year. And we talked a little bit about this, but this was pretty recently after the fucking the October 7th attacks in Israel or whatever.
Oh, right.
We mentioned that a little bit, and I was like, should we do like an episode where we cover just how fucking goofy and absurd like Israeli like IDF propaganda on the internet is? Because there was a lot of stuff about that. There was like all the weird ass like AI generated like Thanos and Voldemort holding back tears because they were like even Hamas is more evil than me, the villain of the fucking MCU bullshit. And it's like, this stuff is fucking wacky. They've got like e-girls posing for the camera. It's like, haha, let me jiggle my butt and kill some brown kids. And I was like, I don't know. At the time, I was like, this is way too recent. This is way too hot of a topic. This is, I don't know. It seemed a little fucked up to have like a goofy podcast like ours where we like riff and make jokes about this like ongoing really fucked up thing. And I guess like, I don't know, we did talk a little bit on the episode at the time, and like we both made our position clear. Like, fuck Israel, the whole thing going on is like absolutely a genocide or whatever. I don't know how to like properly talk about this, right? Because we try to keep kind of a light tone on the show, but it is like, I don't know, like without a doubt, in my opinion, it's one of the most like fucked up like humanitarian like atrocities going on nowadays. So I just don't know how to approach it on our show.
Yeah. It seems a little cynical for us to use that as like a, haha, here's a funny thing going on the internet. Like, obviously, it's not just like React content, but it seems a little in bad taste to be like, oh, cool, like right after this fucking bullshit that's going on right now popped off, is to just like make fun of like IDF thirst traps on TikTok. I mean, this shit still goes on, and it is worthy of ridicule. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like, this isn't some like political podcast, so it's just like it's not really our place to like just use that as a funny topic to talk about like how deranged people are. It's a little bit too, I guess, tasteless, I guess.
Yeah, on the one hand, it is very much in line with the kind of thing we cover on the show, because like if you watch any of that propaganda, it's actually insane. The people producing that stuff are like actual like fucking devils wearing like human skin suits.
And so tone deaf too. Like, it's just like, who watches that and they're like, yo, based.
Yeah, I don't know if this was like out in the news at the time, but I remember the whole thing about like, there's like a whole squad in the IDF dedicated to retrieving dead soldiers' cum like moments after.
Oh, the cum wand.
Killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and they tried to do this like sympathetic video where this woman was like, "My husband died on the line of duty, but thankfully because of the IDF, I can still carry his child." Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you guys are so out of touch. This is insane.
Yeah,
it's like the fucking Eric Andre bit. Like, you sound insane. What's going on with you?
Yeah, it's just the fact they're like, yo, this is. People are really gonna resonate People are really gonna resonate with this. It's like, wow. You really think this way? That's crazy. That is crazy.
It's just insane. And like when we talk about us like cracking jokes and like just making fun of the whole thing, I just think back to, maybe this isn't a perfect analogy, but a couple of years ago, like sometime after Biden got elected to president or whatever, I saw this one Twitter account that was like, it was like the Oval Pawfist, where it was like some guy that role plays as Joe Biden's two dogs, and he's like doing the heckin' cute pupperino thing. He's like, oh, I did a heckin' good job digging holes in the White House lawn or something. And it was like 3 paragraphs of this shit, just like on, I don't know if it was on Twitter, maybe it was on Facebook or something. And I just remember one direct reply to that was somebody that just said, "People are dying." That really stuck with me. People are dying, dude.
I mean, true. I mean, you could extrapolate that to so much, but that is just a perfect microcosm of like of that whole thing. Yeah, truly incredible.
Like we can make jokes about the Israel thing, and you know, like, I don't know, you guys know our stance on that. I don't know if it warrants a full episode, just because like this show is kind of lowbrow. I don't know. I know some of our listeners are like, you guys are like the most smart, like intelligent, like insightful podcast I listen to. And like, on one hand, I'm flattered, but on the other hand, like we make a very deliberate stylistic choice to like kind of dumb things down a little bit and not come off too like preachy or too like video essayist filled or whatever.
Yeah. Don't think that this is like a podcast where you like really get information from. I mean, I guess you can passively. I don't want to say that. When I see what else is going on in the sphere, it's like, yeah, maybe you can take something away from here that isn't just like pure enjoyment comedy shit. But yeah, that's
I like
not
to
really
think of what we do as
yeah.
like infotainment, maybe. I don't know, it's a stupid term, but
yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think we really like, this is not an educational podcast, but I think if you listen to us, I think it's a good like intro to most of the things we cover. It's a good like, all right, here's the bullshit part of it, go do your own research, or so be it.
Yeah, I guess the best way you could take things away from this is to be at least tangentially informed about the topic that we're talking about. And then, because like that's how I am with a lot of like these kind of like entertainment news type of things, where it's just like it just feels nice to hear somebody have a sane take on this, because like if you spend too much time on the fucking internet, it's just like, Jesus, wow, everybody's fucking deranged. So it's just like, okay, there are people out here that just have like a good take, and everything's fine.
Yeah, I don't think our politics are a big secret. Like, I'm very openly like very left leaning, but at the same time, like, I have a whole lot of like hang-ups with like other left-leaning people on the internet, which isn't to say there are a lot of people I have any explicit beef with. Like, listen to whoever you want to listen to. I don't really give a shit. I'm not gonna be like, if you like so and so, get the fuck out of my audience. Like, I don't care about that. But a lot of the times it's like, I feel often very unsatisfied with the way people, quote unquote, on my side are talking about things. So I don't know, that was just a big part of wanting to start the show. Like, I gotta get my very good opinions, well phrased opinions out there.
Yeah,
so.
We are fucking authorities on everything, so either adopt our views or get the fuck
out.
Get out.
I will say I don't really like South Park, but it has a lot of quotable bits like that. Like, you don't like America, you can get the fuck out.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
I thought this was
America. Yeah, they especially lately they miss more than they do it. But like there are some that are just like
Matt and Trey they have the original sin of being libertarians. So
right, which made sense when there was nothing on the line in like fucking 1998. But now it's just like, oh, then you're just an asshole.
Yeah. All right. Next question's a bit heavy, so I'm going to skip that one for now and do it afterwards. Let's do this easy one first. Hannah asks, for each of you, fave video game of all time.
Oh, shit. I'm going to let you field that one first.
Okay, I've got 3, and I thought about this while you were giving a very long answer to one of our previous questions, because it took me a bit too. All of mine are kind of like PS2 era, I will say. Top 3 in no particular order. First one, Shadow of the Colossus. Amazing game. If you look back, it's like, it is amazing that they made this fucking thing run on the PS2 of all hardware. Best generation. Beautiful game. Still worth playing. I don't know how to feel about the remakes. I mean, they look very pretty, but I would say either get those or just like emulate it. It's worth playing. It's amazing. Number 2, I will say the Katamari Damacy. I can't speak. You know what I mean. Fucking yes. Katamari, one of the best games ever. One of my favorite soundtracks of all time. It is crazy. We did a little art tribute to Katamari in like our 3rd episode where I drew our boy Murat as like the king of all cosmos. Amazing game. Yeah. Amazing game. So much fun. I think it was made by some guy who was like a toy maker or something. He wasn't like a video game guy or something. So I'm like, I don't know. Like that's real art right there. I think we need more people in the video games industry who aren't just like, all my inspirations are other video games. You need some art. You need to get some artistic inspiration from outside your medium. And my last one, number 3, it will be Ragnarok Online, a fucking like 2002, 2003 Korean MMO, because that like took over my life, and to this day I still feel like old school Ragnarok is still like my favorite fucking MMO ever made. Like mechanically, you could do so many like fun, crazy things with like character builds and stuff like that, and like the world was really fun to explore. And I met so many of like the best friends I've ever had playing that game, and I don't think there'll ever be anything quite like it again. But we'll see. So yeah, that's my top 3.
All right, if we're going for mine, there's probably shit that I'm forgetting, but I kind of went off the cuff with this one, so because like I guess that's and there's so many good ones. So I'm gonna say it's we're going childhood picks. It's a tie between Chrono Trigger and Earthbound.
Very solid.
I don't play a lot of JRPGs anymore. I think most of them are too grindy and just unsatisfying. But like those ones, first of all, fucking banger soundtracks. Also like so ahead of their time. Very, very enjoyable to play. Just interesting in general.
I've had Chrono Trigger on my mind a little bit because a few weeks ago we recently lost fucking Akira Toriyama, fucking legendary artist.
Yes, and he also did the art for the Dragon Quest series, which was another series that I grew up with.
Dragon Quest is basically like the root of all fucking JRPGs. It's either Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy.
Yes, so. Exactly. And they kind of went off on 2 different branches, and yeah, like
it's kind of crazy because this is a bit of a tangent, but I've said before that my big hobby is like tabletop RPGs and like D&D and shit. And both Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest are kind of wild because you can see a lot of the common like popular monsters and stuff you fight in those games are straight up taken from the original like monster manual for D&D. Like you straight up 100%. Have like mind flayers and in Final Fantasy, or like the iconic slime monster in Dragon Quest, which they made it like Akira Toriyama. He draws as like this very cute like little blue blob with like a little like fat donut child smile. Whereas like in D&D, it's like just a big gelatinous cube. That's
right,
just,
and
like,
it's filtered through the Japanese aesthetic. But like the original Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 1, had spell slots. Basically just like straight up taken, which no JRPG has done since then. But
a lot of the Final Fantasy jobs, they map directly to like D&D jobs. Like you straight up have the fighter.
Yeah, fighter,
I think they changed
thief.
they changed the cleric to white mage and the wizard to black mage. But whatever, you know, it's a really interesting history. There's like a shared overlap of like tabletop games and video games in like the 80s, 90s before they kind of both branch, but they still like influence each other.
There's a branching out of Western and Eastern RPG styles, but they kind of intertwine here and there as well in a lot of ways.
I think they're actually kind of intertwining again. I feel like Japan lately has gotten kind of like a taste for like Western style, like grimy aesthetics. Like they've got the fucking like the Dark Soul series or like Dragon's Dogma 2 that came out. That's all. They're very like, these look like Western games where you're running around with like knights and wizards and shit, you know? So
yeah. And then the other one I was gonna say, this is a very deep cut, but I'm talking about like somewhat recent indie games.
Let's go.
Fucking Duck Game, dude. Have you ever played Duck Game?
Duck Game. Yeah, that's like the weird like multiplayer thing.
Yeah.
I played it for like a month or something, but
so this is the thing: is Duck Game is so fucking good, but like they just there's not a real there's not a real strong like community. It's very like indie and it's very niche, but like everybody who I've played that game with fucking loved it. But they just it's just too like it's too marketed as I guess like a just kind of like a fun like play with my friends for 5 minutes thing. But like it's such a good game. Like it's fucking silly. There's a bunch of shit to do. It's really fun. There's a lot going on.
Maybe if we ever do some gaming streams for the show, maybe we'll put that on our docket. Maybe we'll do a little bit of that. That could be fun.
And not too long ago, they just updated the game to make it a little bit more modern, and now you can have 8 players. You can have 8 players in fucking Duck Game. Let's do it.
Oh shit, that rules.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next question. I'm going to go to the one that I immediately skipped. Please forgive me. Protagon, one of our patrons. Protagon asks, do you think that ultimately the internet is a net positive or a net negative for humanity? Which, oof. Okay.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's heavy.
But I think I have an answer for that.
All right, yeah, you go ahead because I have a complicated answer. So.
Yeah, I mean, not positive, not positive. There's nothing wrong with the internet as it is. I mean, it's a technology that is fundamentally good and has a lot of really positive applications. The shitty parts about the internet are not because of the internet itself. It's because it's a reflection of the society in which the internet exists. So the things that people like hate on the internet for, like it's a bunch of like, oh, Facebook is deranged and shit like that. It's not. It's because these companies fucking suck that control the internet. The early internet was a little bit more democratized, and there wasn't a lot.
We
of
talk
these
about
problems.
this often on the show.
Yeah. So it's not. This isn't really like a particularly unique take. The internet, there's nothing wrong with it. The companies that are trying to corner the internet and become the internet, the fucking Facebook and Microsoft and Twitter and all this type of shit, they are the problem. There's nothing wrong with the internet. That's really all there is to say about it.
Yeah, it needs to be said that like venture capital, like tech firms or whatever, are really like they've been hollowing out the internet and trying to turn it into like a fucking strip mall with like a parking lot, you know, rather than like just like a space for everybody. And you know, I have a lot of like mixed feelings about this. Obviously, I think a lot of it's a big running theme of the show that we constantly talk about like tech guys and tech companies and that how they have like unlimited money to like throw at the most stupid bullshit ever, and they just make all the websites and stuff we use like worse all the time. And I do think we're kind of coming to a head. I think it is going to hit a precipice soon where like a lot of the money is going to dry up. A lot of these big projects,
it already
like,
is. Yeah,
like crypto and like AI bullshit and all that. These companies rather are gonna realize like, oh hey, we're not getting returns on this. We're not getting back the money we wanted. This is not the big thing that tech bros pitched us it would be. So I think there's gonna be a big like seismic shift on that soon. As for my actual like answer to this, it's hard to say, because I will say so like there's definitely a different the internet is very different to a lot of people, right? I look at like the average like normal person. I look at like my mom or like the old guy who lives with us, or like family friends and stuff, like fucking like boomers and like maybe even late Gen X people. My mom is Gen X, but I look at older people or like normies who are like not very, and we can unpack the word normies another time, but like I look at a lot of people and it's like the internet is not good for them. They're just not equipped to handle like the fucking onslaught of like constant news and like stimulation and whatever. And like I do think it's not even necessarily their fault. I don't want to say like, oh, you're a bad person, you're dumb, stupid, like subhuman, whatever, if you can't like handle the internet or whatever, because a lot of these websites are explicitly designed like with like psychology reports and stuff in mind to be like predatory and keep you clicking and keep you engaged with whatever. Like I feel bad for these people. So like I do think for a lot of people, maybe even the majority of people, the internet can be like a fucking awful force on their life. Or like you even look at all the stuff with like Facebook and doing like election tampering in like third world countries or stuff, or like in a lot of other countries you have shit like what is it, LinkedIn, the other one, it's like a chat program. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Slack?
No, Slack is like a big thing. Well, whatever. Not Telegram, but I guess Telegram is another example. You have
Signal?
A lot of like, no, whatever. Moving on. There are a lot of like chat apps or whatever. It's like, oh, a majority of people in this like poor country, like this is the primary way they get all their news and talk to other people. And it's like, okay, but like a single company is like in charge of all of that. So like, I just don't like the amount of power and authority that these companies wield on the world. I don't think they deserve it, or whatever. But to make things a little more positive, I look at like the effect the internet has had on a lot of other people, like marginalized groups, or like just like communities of like weirdos into like really niche like out there things. Like in my own life, like I've basically grown up entirely on the internet. Like I was a big like antisocial kind of weirdo for most of my my life in like elementary through high school, and like all the best friends I've ever had have been like on the internet and stuff, and I've found like communities for the stuff I'm interested in. I've like found spaces to like explore my identity and like learn things and like come to terms with like being queer and all that stuff. Or like I've had like my worldview and like my political views and stuff shaped by like other people talking about things online. So I don't know, for a lot of people, like how can I say the internet is like an awful, nasty thing when it's like responsible for so much of like who I am directly? So I think, I don't know, for a lot of people it's also been very good. But as for like the whole thing, is it like a net positive or a net negative for humanity? Well, I would have to say like I don't really have a clear answer to that, but I've done a lot of thinking on it, and I think my answer is like, even if I knew without a doubt, if I had perfect access to all the data, which nobody will ever have, and also the data is kind of bullshit, but if I could know for certain, yes, the internet has been a net negative for humanity, I think I would still rather live in the world where it exists. I don't know. I think I just accept the bad with the good. I don't know. It's hard to do like a pure utilitarian, well, this is like 70% good, but 30% bad. I think it's too complicated for that. So I don't know.
I agree. When we're talking about net positive or net negative, As far as the negative shit, like I don't know. I feel like the shitty organizations, the entities that make the internet bad. If the internet never existed, they'd find another avenue to just be shitty. So I don't think the internet. I guess like that's.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine how dog shit TV would be if the internet never was invented?
Yeah, I mean it would be YouTube, but only the front page of the YouTube, which is basically what TV has always been.
Yeah,
with a few good
like,
things sprinkled in. Yeah.
I don't know if it's still the case with the front page. I don't think so. But there was a couple of years where like the front page was constantly like fucking talk show guys, like fucking Stephen Colbert, like Jay Leno. Shit. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. This stuff sucks. You know.
Yep. Yeah, it's just CNN and like the CBS just moved to YouTube instead of like network TV.
I was talking about this just in the Discord just today, and we've said before, like every time we log into the YouTube account for the Super Despair World YouTube channel, the front page is always like really like dumb bullshit. Like here's how to grow your channel. Here's how to avoid this, or it'll really hurt your numbers. And just as of today, I think the YouTube algorithm is finally starting to profile us correctly, because I'm getting a lot more weird shit on the front page right now.
Yeah, I kind of want to know, because you posted that earlier in the Discord, the one ASMR guy and one jar. Wait, what was it? what was
one ASM artist, one jar. Yeah. I didn't know that's a word, ASM artist.
Did you watch that? Does he piss in the jar? What happened?
I was afraid to click on that for fear of like tainting the algorithm. But I don't know. Maybe I just need to start clicking on weird shit when I go to check our numbers or something. I'm
curious. I don't. Yeah, I don't.
I see another ASMR girl, and it's like, okay, she's got the big titties out. She's a very pretty lady.
Yeah.
And then I see another one. It's from, I don't know if I should shout out the channel or not, but whatever. It's from this girl. Her channel name is Kitty Abortion, like Kitty Abortion, and the video is it's just 3 minutes. It has 13K views. It says antisocial girl explaining her theory on quote mad scientists, which like okay, this is doing something for somebody.
Yeah.
And then I see another video. It's like this person with like an upside down cross painted on their forehead, and the video is titled "How Can God Forgive People Like Me?" Right next to another video from somebody in like a neon lit blue room saying "Loving Life Part 2." 14 views. 14 views. Oh my god, I didn't see that. Also, touching yourself in front of a mirror. Brackets Billie Eilish advice. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, apparently Billie Eilish made some statement about masturbating in front of a mirror made her feel better about herself, which, you know,
hey, good for her. She's an adult. She can do what she wants.
I support that shit, honestly. It's not narcissistic, it's just self-love.
Well, you know, I think it might literally be narcissistic, because the story of Narcissus or whatever was like the guy who like looked into the lake at his own reflection.
He was beating off like looking
there was literally a reflection involved, so it might be narcissistic in like a historical sense, if not a psychological one. But
okay, true.
All right, we're getting wacky with this question. You know, I think we might actually end up going a bit long today, but you know, these are good questions.
I'm
to all of them.
I'm here for it.
Let me scroll back. Let me find where was my fucking place here.
Well, I can read the next one.
Okay, yeah. This is from Weasel.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Is it ever difficult or tiring to be smarter and more sophisticated than everyone else online? Do you ever grow weary of interacting with dullards like us?
Yeah, it's really hard. You guys really give me a migraine like every fucking day. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy doing it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, my answer to that is a resounding yes. It is difficult and tiring. Do better, but I will continue taking you children under my wing and teaching you to be as great as we are. This is my cross to bear.
We're gonna do like a a smug cop, a humble cop thing, and I'm gonna give the humble cop answer, which is, all right. First of all, I'm very flattered that you think we're very smart and sophisticated. I don't know if I really try to affect that so much. Like I said earlier, we do make a deliberate stylistic choice to kind of dumb things down. I think as soon as we started recording the first episode, I think one of the first instructions I gave Dave was like, we need to try to not sound like fucking bread tubers or like fucking video essay people. Like we need to not go into that territory. We try to not come off a little too pretentious, a little too like academic and cosmopolitan.
Axiomatically, are you sure that you want to posit that position on that?
Listen, my axioms are grounded, okay, and I will give whatever manifesto I please. No, but for real. First of all, look, I'm very flattered that you guys like value the things we have to say and all that. I'm very humble like that. But I will say, if you guys think we're smart or whatever, I gotta say, you gotta be careful about like who you look up to on the internet. Not saying like, oh, there's some big scandal on the horizon that'll get us canceled or whatever. But like, I think a lot about this, and I look at like the kind of like parasocial fandom you see with other people on the internet who I will not name. We don't need to start any beef today. This is the chill episode. But I look at a lot of like the fandom surrounding people who like talk about the internet and society and politics and shit on the internet, and a lot of their fans like really look up to them as like, oh, this is like a thought leader. This is somebody I need to base my entire worldview around. Or it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have an opinion on that topic. So and so hasn't made a video about it yet. And it's like, and like the thing I was gonna say is just, I guess, I don't know, this is just my bouncing off point for this question, to be like, you guys got to be careful who you look up to on the internet, both when it comes to other people and even to us. I think a lot about this thing that I heard somebody say the other day, which is like, if you ever heard the term like con man as like somebody who's like a grifter and a fraud, and they're out to cheat you for your money, or what, I can't speak.
I thought that was referring to Cambodian people.
No, all right. I was gonna say, if you ever heard the phrase "con man," the thing that term comes from being a confidence man, like being able to use your confidence to like sell people on things. Like there was the guy who was like, "Yeah, I own the Brooklyn Bridge. You can buy it off of me. Just give me all this money. Now you own this bridge." Like that's literally where the phrase like "I've got a bridge to sell you" comes from. You know, and it's like you got to be careful of like the people you listen to on the internet, and like how readily you are to like just believe things you say or like value their opinion just because they come off as like very confident. Like I like to think of myself as a confident person, and I try to talk with a lot of confidence on this show, but you know, just like the dolphin thing, there are a lot of things we mention in passing that like I maybe have like a vague recollection of seeing like a few years ago when I was in college or something. I don't have like a degree or anything. I'm not really like qualified to give like a quote unquote professional opinion on just about fucking anything. I'm just a girl on the internet, okay? I'm just a random fucking person with a microphone and like a drawing tablet, okay? So like, please take everything you say, we say, with a grain of salt. Both, I don't know, just apply that to other people you listen to on the internet as well as us. Like, hold us accountable if you ever think we're saying some bullshit, you know?
Yeah, facts. Don't be a glazer. And to be clear, we're not saying Weasel is a glazer, although...
No, Weasel, you're very cool. I appreciate, like I said, it's a very, very sweet phrasing. We love you very much. Also, hello to your wife.
Yeah. I'm going to give you an extra juice box when I put you in the playpen tonight, and when I tuck you in. It's going to have Red 40 in it. Your favorite.
You ever see the fucking the TV show Honey Boo Boo with like the fucking like southern like trailer park girl who does all the
Sketty and butter.
Shit? I don't remember if it was Honey Boo Boo herself or some other girl on those beauty pageants, but there's this like little kid at one of those shows going like, my mommy gives me go-go juice, which is like, it was like some concoction of like energy drinks and like Adderall and other shit. And I'm like, no, this kid is like 8 years old.
Oh God, that's like the Michael Jackson cocktail.
It's like they broadcasted this on TV. I have a thing for energy drinks, okay? Like I don't smoke, I don't really drink a lot of alcohol, I don't do recreational drugs. Energy drinks, that's my vice of choice. And even I wince when I looked at the contents of this fucking go juice. Like, holy shit.
No, that's unacceptable.
We're gonna do an episode on those at some point, and like spoiler alert, that shit should be fucking illegal. Like, I don't know, that stuff is fucked up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did have something planned on that, at least tangentially, but we could probably roll that in with another topic as well. But yeah,
I have like a whole Google Doc of potential episode ideas, and I need to update it, but we'll come back. We'll see. This last month has been very topical, but we're gonna get back to the weird shit just for the fans.
Yeah, and just as a quick aside, we have a suggestions channel in the Discord. If you have any ideas, things that you want us to talk about, drop that motherfucker in there.
That is true. Maybe we'll take a look in there for the next one, because I don't know what we'll do from one week to another. It's where we plan out more than a week or two ahead. So
right.
I have lost my place. Where were we in the questions list?
Okay, the next one is Mr. Universe Squid asks a good one. Who is your dream guest?
Oh, okay. I think I talked about this a little bit on the Discord the other day, which, again, join the Discord. You'll get direct access to us and all the stuff we don't say on air directly yet. But it's hard for me to pick just one. Well, okay, there's one guest we would love to have, maybe for like a big 100 or something like that. Like, yeah. Do I even need to say who it is?
Gary Gygax. We're gonna resurrect him from the.
Yeah, I will be the GM at his table, and he will be rolling at disadvantage. Okay, let's just say that.
But who is the guest? Tell it.
I mean, it's got to be our boy, the big one, the prince of Turkey, Murat, our favorite guy on the internet, very stylish fellow. People might know this. I think this might be the first time we've talked directly
we've
about
never
him.
Actually like aired this out before on the pod.
This is how you know this is an episode for the real fans. So this guy Murat, I remember before we started this show, Dave just showed me in DMs. He's like, we need to make this guy our mascot or something. And he linked me to this, like, it was like an Instagram reel or like a TikTok video or something. I think it was Instagram. I think he streams on Instagram. I don't know. But this video of this Turkish guy who dresses in like these really, really like fancy, like kind of 70s, like lounge style, like, like dope suits and shit. He looks great. He is well dressed. He is snazzy, and he just like he poses in this grocery store, which I've come to learn that he owns. It's like a nut and spice shop, which is like the most Turkish
incredible. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and for one, he looks good for his age. I came to learn that he owns the shop, where I previously thought, oh, maybe he's just like posing as like his dad's business or something. But no, he's got the grind set. He's styling on Instagram while he's like running his business in real life. Amazing, Murat. God, I really hope he speaks English.
he fucking rules. And yeah, he's just got such style. His mustache, like his hair, just the drip that he has, and like he just I just searched him up just when you brought him up, and just every time I see him, there's just a big smile on my face. Like I just realized.
How can you not like this guy?
He fucking rules. He rules. He's a fucking great guy. He's awesome.
I remember we were beefing with some like Warhammer chuds on Twitter, and you just posted this picture with Murat's hand outstretched, and he just wrote like "Hand of God" or something. It was so powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just anything you have going on in your life, just look him up, Murat Erdim. I'm not saying his name right, probably.
Maybe we'll see.
But either way, he fucking rules.
I will say I've had some conflicted feelings, because I've like put him in the episode art so many times that I've started feeling like, is it weird that I'm taking this real person and like using their likeness to like be a third wheel on our show, and like I don't know how to feel about that. Like I have this little like nightmare scenario in my head where he like learns that we exist and he's like, please do not use my image. You know, that would be heartbreaking. But you know, I feel like, I don't know, we're big fans of the guy. I think all the art I've done has been pretty flattering. You know, it's not he's not like the butt of our jokes or anything.
Exactly.
We love this dude.
To be fair, we are not making fun of this dude. We just love him so much, and he is such like a positive person in a world. I mean, it's kind of a like a juxtaposition for the name of this podcast, which is Super Despair World, of just like somebody that pure and somebody that fucking uplifting and positive exists in this world, especially on the internet. And just to respond to your previous point, he's a fucking TikTok streamer on fucking TikTok, no less. That this guy
it's
just
really,
fucking is killing it and just being so fucking awesome. Like
I think the term for his type of content is like, he's basically like a thirst trap guy, right? He just like thirst trap streams. Like there was a time like a few weeks ago, I want to say, on the Discord where you linked like he was live at the time, and he was just like chilling out in his store. He was like doing a little dance with like some like Turkish radio station playing just like on the radio in front of his phone. And I was like, it was a fun time. It's like, and he doesn't even really like talk on stream either. He just like he does his own things. He like maybe like nods or says hello to customers or something like that, and like he'll do the signature thing where he like approaches and strikes a pose and winks at the you know, it's,
man,
I don't know.
He's
Murat,
so awesome.
Murat, you're cool as hell. I hope one day when you learn that we exist, that you like all the art I've done and that you appreciate our weird expression of fandom.
Yeah. We love you, bro.
Yeah. As for other guests, God, I hope Murat speaks English, but you know it.
I will take a military intensive course to learn Turkish. Just I'll go to the UN interpreter course. Well, I mean, donate a sinister $6 and we'll get a UN interpreter to relay Murat's.
I'm sure $6 will cover it. That was like the big obvious answer. If I was to just give another one, I think I mentioned this on the Discord as well, but there's a YouTuber who does a lot of like really good videos talking about like the history of different like subcultures on like Tumblr specifically, and some other like the more like queer, like left-leaning kind of like weird like internet kitty side of the internet. The YouTuber is Strange Aeons. She does really good content.
I recently kept getting recommended her content, and and the thing is, I usually like, I'm kind of weary about like, oh, look at this Tumblr thing, because like a lot of it is like really just kind of like low.
Oh, here's some like middle schoolers in 2014 posting a dumb opinion, you know?
Or like people like trying to like over intellectualize it. Of like, I have a sociology degree, so I'm gonna like really take this like TikTok Tumblr drama very seriously and try to opine on it. But no, she is just like kind of like just presents shit to you, and it's like funny, good takes, not annoying, like really good presentation. Like
she does like it's well researched, but it doesn't come off like overly academic. She
like
seems
pretentious.
Very authentic,
We stand.
I appreciate that, like, it feels like when she talks about, like, these weird, like, internet subcultures or whatever, it feels like it comes from a place of curiosity rather than, like, just make fun of the cringe thing, which I guess is very much, like, in the spirit of what we try to do on this show. Even though we do go a little more hater mode than she does. We are quicker to just, like, bully the nerds and make fun of the chuds, so.
Yeah, which, you know, we can't all be doing the same shit, you know?
Either way, I think she would be a great guest. I don't know if she does podcast appearances or whatever, but it would be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I gotta start writing emails and shit. I feel like we have enough of a backlog now that people won't think it's like a total joke if I reach out to them. So.
Yeah. I mean, at least we take something. At least we take this seriously, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have another guest besides Murat?
Well, we were talking about this in the discourse, in the Discord, and
What's the difference?
what's the difference between that? Fucking Bill Wirtz. Bill Wirtz.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't know who Bill Wirtz is, look up fucking Bill Wirtz on the internet. BILLWRWURTZ. And it's a guy who did the history of everything and the history of Japan and stuff. And like this guy like makes really fucking amazing viral just seminal content.
What is what's a phrase from a Bill Wirtz video that lives rent free in your head? Because I have one.
I'm still a piece of garbage.
My favorite is, I think it's from the Japan video where it's like, how about I do anyway?
They're so good. And like as a musician, from like a musical perspective, like the harmonies and the melodies and like all of the production he puts into this is like, it's really, really like I'm pretty sure, I think I did a little bit of research on him ages ago, and I'm pretty like he definitely went to I'm pretty sure he went to middle school as well, but I think he went to music school, and you could tell because like his command of like jazz harmony is like really, really, really good, and just on top of that, his content is so it's so unique. It's so entertaining. On top of it,
comes out of this
perfect.
It comes out of this like very distant era of YouTube, like a short-lived time period on YouTube where there was like a real niche for like short-form content, but it was before like Vine and TikTok and shit existed, and people were just getting weird with it, you know?
And you can tell when you look at his shit that he was just like, I'm a fucking guy, and I have these ideas, and I want to put it out there. It's not just like this cynical like, this is going viral now, but like he has just such a unique like video creation mode. Like everything has fucking Arial font and like this very like weird kind of like motion graphic style, and just the music bits on top of it, and his like narration style, and just like, and then he has a website too, billwirtz.com, which has this like web 1.0 fucking Times New Roman font, like no design whatsoever, just like lists of shit, and it's just like, this guy fucking rules. This guy rules. And I don't know if he's ever like done interviews with anybody before, if he really has this like kind of like a web personality presence or anything, but like just judging from his creativity and his sense of humor, like I think he would really be a fucking cool person to talk to.
He's really one of those people where it's like the stuff he makes speaks for itself, right? It's not just like, oh, my personality is my brand. People just like me because I'm just I'm the YouTube guy or whatever. This just came to me as you were talking about this, but maybe in a similar spirit of that, and like this would be a really big one. I don't know if we could ever get this guy, but how about Neil Cicierega? Like fucking legendary guy on the internet who's made like fucking viral shit for like basically as long as the internet's been a thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I've got his wiki page open, which one, if someone has a fucking wiki page, they're probably too big for us. But like he was like, I when I was a kid, I remember seeing his fucking animation, the fucking Potter Puppet Pals, where it's all the like Harry Potter characters. It's like a like flash animation or something. I know he's done like a bunch of like little games and like music things under like fucking Lemon Demon, and he's just involved in so much stuff. It's like, I don't know, I think he would have a lot of interesting insights on the internet at large.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wish that I was more involved on the internet in like a creative sphere when I was younger, just because like I think it allowed you to be more genuine and more exploratory, whereas now, like, even if it's just like, yeah, I have ideas and they're good and everything, but it's just like, yeah, then I have to worry about like the algorithm and like blowing up and not even that cynical, but it's just like, is anybody gonna see this? Like it's am I going to be able to compete with all the other things that have people's eyes on it? And I guess that's like the wrong mindset to have with any of this shit. It should just be like, if you want to make something, just fucking do it and put it out there and don't worry about that shit. But
yeah, it's from a more authentic time on the internet, back when like everybody's making like flash animations and games on Newgrounds and shit. Like, people are still doing that now, but it's not the same, you know. Like we've talked a lot about how the old internet was different. We don't need to go into a full lecture about that again. Let's move on to the next question. I think, which I've gotten my place back. And this is another question from Hannah. She asks, how did you two meet / become friends?
Well, I've been drunk since 2008, so I don't even remember. You have to.
Okay. Oh, geez. So, I guess, I don't know. We have a policy of like, we try not to talk about like other shows, other communities too much. But you know what, like, Hannah, okay, you asked, so like we'll give a clear answer. Dave and I originally met like a few months before we started the show. We met on the Discord server for another podcast for the show Cold Cuts, which is a podcast. I think it was originally about like webcomic stuff going on. It's from Beetle Moses and YOLO Swag Studios, two very big comic artists on Twitter. I forget how I found their show. I think I just followed one or both of them, just like independently of that at some point. And like I made a lot of friends hanging out in the Cold Cuts Discord. It's a Patreon only thing. You got to pay them like $5 or something to get in there, which, you know, you could also just give us $6 instead. But I don't know. No hard feelings, no competition, whatever. A lot of our listeners come from that community as well. We have a big overlap with them, although I don't know if they know that we exist either way. But yeah, Dave and I, we met in there. There's just like a lot of convos that go on in that server, and I guess we just like vibed well. And at some point, somebody was like talking about podcasts or whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, I've always kind of wanted to make my own. I had a lot of like loose ideas for one I've been sitting on for a long time. And yeah, Dave and I just like got to talking in DMs, and it worked out. They're like, oh hey, we have all these like complementary skills. We vibe well. I remember the first time we had like a voice call with each other, and we wrapped up afterwards, and Dave said something like, man, I'm so glad you're not like a dipshit or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the feeling's the same. So
yeah, well, that was my whole thing. Is like, you know, usually you would say something in there, and it'd just be like, oh, common absentia W, like common good take. And then
we did a little mutual glazing.
Yeah. And then I did remember when we finally were like actually DMing about this, and then it was like, yeah, we should like VC to you know, vibe check it, and I was like, I don't think it's gonna go wrong, but like you never really know until you. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, it's fine. It's fine.
Like full cards on the table. We did not know each other for a very long time when we started doing this show, and I think we've become better friends over time in the process of doing it. Like, it just happened that we vibed well and had complementary skills. But you know what, Dave, I think you're cool. I think we get along well. I think the show has a good future ahead of it, or at least some fun episodes in the future. But like sometimes like you'll meet somebody on the internet, it's like, hey, we should collab on this creative thing, and like as soon as you start, you immediately realize like, oh, this isn't gonna work. This person does not have it cut out. They are not serious about this, you know?
Right. Well, that's the thing too. Is that like, even though we got along in the VC, and I was like, yeah, okay, she's good. Like it's the same vibes that we had on in Discord or whatever. It's just like, when it comes to the logistics of like doing it, like it's been pretty painless. I gotta say, like, we're both pretty flexible as far as you know, shit getting done and everything like that.
Considering but like this is both the first time for both of us, it's the first time we've ever done a podcast, and I think our quality is up there. I don't know. I feel very good about quote unquote content that we put out there. I feel like we have a good show, and I don't know, like I'm pretty dog shit about marketing. I don't know how to seek out new listeners. It just, I don't know, we just kind of trip into it sometimes. Maybe we'll put the right clickbait phrase into the title, or like maybe I'll find like a guest. I think we definitely got at least a handful of new guests from the last episode we did with Shay. Shout out Shay, you're awesome.
Thank you, Shay.
But yeah, like I don't know. I don't really know how to do the whole marketing, how to grow on social media. I'm a fucking idiot when it comes to this stuff, which, hey, maybe that's good. Maybe I don't have that original sin weighing down on me. Maybe that's the thing that lets me stay a bit authentic. But I don't know. I think if we did manage to get more eyes on the show, I feel very, very confident about the catalog of stuff we've put out so far. And I think everybody, pretty much everyone who like I've shown the show to has come away liking it, and not just to like blow smoke up my ass or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Same. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's the whole thing, is I'm not like in any rush to get like the world's eyes on this. But if it ever did happen, I feel pretty good about our catalog of shit. So I mean, that's all I'm focused on right now, is to just keep putting out good shit. And yeah, hopefully some more people see it. That's all.
This kind of ties back to the question about guests, but I always this is like the big like inner conflict, the big storm brewing within my heart of hearts, where I'm like, on some level, I know we need to like reach out to like bigger people and like bring them on and like have a convo, and like that's how we get more eyes on it. And it's like, okay, everybody has to do some level of marketing to that, but it's like we're both coming at this from as people who aren't like known on the internet for any like previous thing. We're basically like starting from scratch. So I always have this fear that I'll just come off like the biggest like fucking cunt in the world. Like, look at this 100 subscriber nobody who thought that I would deign to give them the time of day on their shit ass little podcast. And it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna try shooting my shot a little more.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is I think there's probably a lot of people who would just be like, oh man, that's cool. Like, yeah, I'll talk to you guys.
A good example of this, actually, I think we've talked about like some tabletop RPG stuff before. You know, fucking Brennan Lee Mulligan. He's like a famous like internet DM guy.
Yeah.
I've seen like I don't remember the name of them, but I've seen him do like podcast appearances on like fucking YouTube channels that have like a 3-digit number of subscribers too, and I'm like, wow, I'm kind of stunned that this guy with like a big successful career would reach out and like do a full ass like hour-long interview with like some like nobody YouTuber. Like, and I don't say the word nobody with disrespect. We're also very much nobodies, but it just, I saw that like a year ago or something, and it made me realize like maybe you just have to reach out. Maybe a lot of these people are more open to collabing with like small people than I would otherwise think.
I think part of the thing is we've unfortunately kind of adopted this cynical mindset where we just assume that anybody going on a show to talk to people or be a guest or whatever, they're only doing it for some sort of like PR publicist clout reason. It's not, it can't be because they're just like, oh, this is I want to talk to these people. We have shared interests. We can have an interesting conversation. It's gotta be to cultivate their fan base or something like this. And it's like, no, I think it's not always this dark. Like, I think there are people who just care about what they do, and they see other people who are doing cool stuff too, and they kind of want to just hang out and talk to them. Like, I mean, I've seen this all the time, like with the shit that I've done. Is like, it's the people that I've had really good relationships with and conversations with and shit. Like, they weren't trying to get something out of me. And I think we always kind of just like go back to this with anything related to like entertainment or show business or content or whatever you want to call it. But it's like, no, dude, not everybody is as fucking brain rotted that we think that they are. So yeah, I mean, maybe that is a thing. Maybe we should we're all just to more people.
We're all just people trying to make it out there, right? Like, regardless of our size, I like to think, imagine like maybe like a month, like not a month, like several months or maybe like a year or something from now, if we get very lucky and we blow up and we have like 10, 20, like 50,000 followers, that would be insane. But like, I think even if we got to like a size like that, I would like to think, okay, I still want to be open to like, I don't want to pull up the ladder behind me, you know. I would want to still like reach out and work with smaller people. Like if someone has like 100 subscribers or something, like we do right now, we have like 120 something. But like if somebody was with a really small following reached out to me and I look at their stuff and I think, hey, I like this stuff. This is actually cool. You seem like a cool person. I would love to bring them on. You know.
Absolutely. That would be awesome. I'd be slightly like cynical of it for a second, just like check them out. Like, is this a real
you
thing?
You gotta do like a minimum level of
of course, but it's not like you can get a vibe pretty quickly of like, is this person just like trying to quote unquote go viral on the internet or be like a quote unquote content creator, whatever, or is it just somebody like, I have a cool project and I'm into this shit and I like you guys and I want to talk to you? Like, if it's a ladder, like absolutely, I would.
I try to be very humble. Like every time I reach out to somebody, I'm like, hey, here's the link to our show. Check it out. If you like our vibe, we'd love to work with you. If not, you know what? Hey, totally fine.
Sure.
And you know, I'm very upfront. Like, hey, we have a small audience. You know, I this is just like just for the sake. This is for the love of the craft. You know, I have very little I can offer people. Although I guess. For both of our guest episodes so far, I have done like a little illustration of people's respective like internet avatars. So like, hey, I guess free art if you show up on the show, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. We are getting pretty long, but there's only a couple left. So let's go. Okay, a question from friend of the show, actually, very, very nice segue. Trash Binz. He asks, where the hell did I leave my keys?
In your gaping asshole. That's where I saw them.
Yeah, maybe check under the couch or something. I don't have a more clever answer for this. Shout out Trash Binz. You're very cool.
They're always in the last place you left them, which is in your gaping asshole. We love you, Binz.
Please wash your keys. All right. Next question. Another one from Hannah. She asks, Tumblr trans son or 4chan trans daughter?
Incredible. 4chan trans daughter. 100%.
Yeah, I will also say 4chan trans daughter, and I'm gonna elaborate a little bit on this. I feel like, first of all, there's nothing wrong with you if you were like a Tumblr person growing up or presently. I know there's a lot of stuff about Tumblr where it's like, yeah, it was like this nexus for like kind of socially conscious, like queer, like soft kind of people over the years. And I think like, okay, if I have a kid. And I don't want any kids, so like don't judge me for any like, oh, that's a bad parenting answer, Briar, whatever. But if I had a kid and it's like, okay, if I have a Tumblr kid, they're probably gonna be a little on the softer side. They're gonna be a little insensitive. No, they're gonna be a little sensitive. Maybe they'll have like a hyper focus like interest or two that I just don't relate to at all. Maybe they'll use some like weird like social justice-y kind of language that I'm not hip to because I was born in the 90s. I was born in a different century. I'm like one of the last elves that remember the time before men. But you know, I don't know. Like I feel like that would be a lot of emotional work. But if I just have a kid who's like a 4chan weirdo, one, they're probably very online and at least somewhat tech savvy like I was, and they'll just say some like maybe they'll just drop the word faggot casually, and I'll be like, hey, fucking cut that out and just like smack him in the back of the head or something. You know, I don't know. It feels easier to manage a kid that's a bit of a troublemaker rather than someone who's like a little too in touch with their emotions at a very vulnerable age. You know what I mean?
I think we both have the same take on this. Is 4chan is more intentionally funny than Tumblr. And most of my interaction with both of these platforms have been just like seeing screenshots of different threads in there. But
I have only ever used 4chan to pirate music, so I don't know.
I think it's easier to slap the edgy racist humor out of your 4chan trans daughter than to cultivate your Tumblr trans son to not be the softest person in the universe and just be like, my boss at McDonald's yelled at me today, so I'm pretty sure I have generalized anxiety disorder, and I'm never going to leave the house again. And then it's just like a bunch of people like, yeah, you're right.
I have a lot of mixed feelings on this because, like, speaking generationally, I feel like you look at a lot of boomers and it's like, oh, all of you were like severely mentally ill and you've just like repressed it your whole lives and stuff. And I do think on some level it is better that like younger, like millennial, Zoomer, maybe like Gen Alpha people, maybe are they still like toddlers and shit? I don't know, but whatever. Younger people, whatever your perception of younger is, tend to be a little more in touch with our emotions. We're a little quicker to be like, man, I should go to fucking therapy or something, you know? Like a lot of people need to. And I think that's a good thing. Although at the same time, it's like, I also feel like the internet is kind of worse since like there are way too many people who use like very academic or scientific or like therapeutic language when they are not qualified to talk about this shit at all, and it kind of leads to a lot of these terms being very like bastardized, you know. And it's like, I don't know, the discourse just fucking sucks. So I feel like fucking Tumblr trans son or 4chan trans daughter. 4chan, don't get me wrong, I think it's a much worse website, but I also feel like that kid would be like easier to talk to in very plain, straightforward terms. And I say this as somebody who was like also a little bit of a troublemaker, a little bit of a bad kid when I was a teenager. Right. It's just more relatable to me.
Yeah, I think being a troublemaker is better than being like the most scared person on the planet.
I still remember being in high school and I guess, I don't know, maybe this will dox myself a little bit, but I don't live in my hometown anymore. So there was a Tim Hortons, which is like a Canadian Starbucks, but shittier, like right next to my high school. And I would often just like go there to skip class or something. And there was one day where I was like tired as fuck and I was just like sleeping on the table with like on top of my like book bag as a pillow or something. I remember some random guy bought me a hot chocolate because I guess he thought I was like a homeless youth or something. It's like, I am not homeless. I've never I've technically never been homeless, but like I was like just a troublemaking suburbs kid. Okay, I was not a fucking I don't know. That's just a little glimpse into my dark and twisted teenage youth. As it were.
Yeah. That's you can make a 4chan green text about that.
Yeah, for real. All right. We're going very long today, but we got one question left, and I think this is a good one. Yeah. Good one to end on. Weasel, he asks, what are you guys gonna do if/when Twitter shuts down and you can't talk about how bad it is anymore?
fucking inshallah. Inshallah, brother.
Every day I pray for it, brother. I'm on Twitter every day, and I want it to end more than anybody else.
I mean, we do episodes just reacting to Twitter shit because it's around, but like that's not the focus of this podcast. If Twitter fucking ceased to exist tomorrow, we'd probably have better content, honestly. Like there's still gonna be bullshit discourse going on in other avenues, but like
listen, I'm not gonna name any other names, but I have listened to shows that are just about stuff going on Twitter, and they're boring as fuck. They suck. They're not good shows. I checked out. It sucks. You guys don't appreciate how much of a filter all the Twitter stuff we talk about goes through. Okay, you don't need to be on Twitter, except if you are, feel free to follow us and glaze up my posts a little bit, and maybe shit talk the nerds in my replies. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really have that many haters, but yeah, honestly, like to answer the question, if Twitter shuts down, we'll probably just talk about all the dumb shit going on the next website.
yeah, for sure. And just related to what you were talking about, like if your claim to fame is like being like a funny Twitter comedian, like haha, lay quirky,
I have no respect for you. Fuck off.
Honestly,
okay,
like
I'm not gonna go that hard, but like it's like I've listened to people like that, and it's just. They don't have anything interesting to say. I listen to them talk and I'm like,
boring. Their entire persona is based off of like this like 2-sentence quip that's like,
I made one joke and now I have like 90,000 followers.
It went viral. And I have less respect for them than people who went viral from posting like a Vine or like a YouTube video. Like at least they made something.
Should I name some names? I feel like there's at least one that I can go hater mode on.
No, let's not.
Okay, I'll tell you after we're done recording.
Yeah,
maybe I'll even mention it on the Discord, but I won't put it out on the air.
Yeah, right. Join the Discord if you want the hot cup of tea.
Get the inside scoop, as it were.
Get the fuck in here and hear that shit. But like they don't deserve they names coming out of our mouth.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle it.
All right. Speaking of can't handle things, I can't handle more of this episode. That is all the questions we got today. But you know what? We'll definitely do another of these in the future. So come on by to the Discord if you have anything you want to ask us, and we'll do another one of these in like a couple weeks, maybe not every month, maybe like every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, we were like, I don't know if this will make a full episode. This might be our longest episode.
I think we have one that broke the 2 hours mark, but okay, all right. Well, we're getting there, so let's wrap things up, guys. You know how to support us. We're on Patreon. Send us a sinister $6.
Yeah.
If you want a little shout out on the show, let's do those shout outs now.
Speaking of which, let's shout these motherfuckers out. I'm going from shortest nutsack hanging length to longest this time.
Okay, all right.
We have a Google form with a lot of metrics on there.
Yeah, once you sign up for the Patreon, it's a little form you have to fill out. We just collect some little data on our listeners.
Yeah, we send a guy to your house with some calipers, and he's just taking measurements of random things. It's fine. It's just like penis inspection day in gym class in elementary.
We just want to know. We're just asking questions.
We're just collecting data. It's for no reason. It's for no reason. But anyways, all right. Shalom guy, great friend of the show. Great
Shalom,
person.
we love you. Good luck on all the creative endeavors I know you've got cooked up, which I won't spoil here, but we wish you the best.
Yeah. Protagon, excellent fucking question today. We riffed on that one for a while.
That was a real head scratcher. We appreciate it. Love you.
Yeah. Nick also dropped a spicy question in there, and we appreciate that as well.
Hell yeah! Shout out Nick.
Trash Binz, our official first guest. I hope you find your keys, brother.
Yeah. Well, we're praying for you every day.
Clam, also a good question that made me reminisce about my dead cat. Thanks a lot for that. Getting no sleep tonight.
Yeah, both of the dogs and the cat that I talked about are definitely dead now, because this has been like 10 plus years ago. So. But hey, look, I have 2 dogs alive and well who I love very much nowadays. So, yeah.
Yeah. Walker, an OG friend of mine from back in the motherfucking day. Love you, brother.
Let's go.
And then Weasel, who had 2 questions. And he actually had 3. I had to delete one because there was some problematic language in there.
Yeah, you don't get to know that, Weasel. Yeah. Mind your business.
Yeah, I don't know what you have against Macedonian people, but like they're pretty good as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, all right. Join the Discord if you want our hot takes on Macedonia.
We're an Albanian supporting.
I should go like full Balkan as like a Romanian, like fuck Macedonia.
Yeah. You can actually say that because you have.
I have no idea what Romanians think of Macedonia.
Probably not great things to be. If I know anything about the Balkans,
my home country is very troubled.
Yeah, they all have like 99.9 repeating identical DNA and culture, but they all hate each other. I might need to edit this out before I get stabbed by like a Azerbaijani person.
Well, okay, Azerbaijan is not Balkan. That's on the other side of the pond, as it were.
Oh shit! All right, well I'm gonna get stabbed by a geography nerd.
Either way.
All right, well, yeah, this has been a fucking real one.
Yeah, this was fun. Like I said, we try to keep a focused topic for every episode. We don't really want to just be like two friends like riffing on a couch. The podcast, there are enough of those, but it's fun to unwind a little bit every now and then. This is another nice long one at the tail end of a very tumultuous month. I think next week, whatever we talk about, I think we're gonna go back to our regular format, which is closer to like an hour or something. We'll see. We'll try to keep things a little curt. But yeah, I think this has been a good one. Thank you guys so much for your questions.
Yeah, great fucking questions. Shit.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well, without further ado, that's all we got for tonight. Thanks for listening to the show. Good night.
Yeah, good fight, good night.